Everyone raves about the Honda Monkey, and quite rightly so. I've owned one for 2 or 3 months now. I've nearly done 1,000 miles on it, and there's 5 things that really piss me off. So if you're in the market for a Honda Monkey, or you've got one, stick around and I'm going to tell you about my 5 pet peeves about this bike. One of them, arguably, I'm a little bit passionate about. So we'll start with the least important to me and work our way up to my ultimate pet peeve on the bike. Number 1, the cost. How much? 4,200 quid I paid for this. And for what you get, it is too much money. I'm not saying I regret my purchase. I knew what I was doing, knew what I was buying, and I'm relatively happy with it. But the price point is ridiculous. It's too expensive, especially when you look at its competition. The sensible man's choice would have been the Honda CB125F, for me anyway. It's nearly £1,000 cheaper, it's more practical, and it comes with so much more stuff. In at number 2 is the mirrors and their placement.
Here we are, cruising along around some blind bends. Just before we hit the bend, let's see what's behind us. Oh, it's me, my arms. So to look behind you, you've got to do a bit of a shuffle, move your arm in, which isn't ideal. It's a small point, but especially on one of these, you need to know what's behind you. And all it needs is, an extra, 6 inch? It just needs that much more on the arm. And it'd be perfectly fine. And you can get the mirror extenders, and I have ordered some mirror extenders. But I don't know if I like the look of them, to be honest. And I can see, you can see, you just have to move out of the way a little bit. But it's annoying when it's so obvious, especially if you're a well-paid designer of motorcycles at Honda. But then maybe the designers weren't thinking of big gorilla-sized men from the UK and the US. And other places in the world.
It's not a major thing for me, I've got to be honest, but it is annoying. Again, when you sort of come back to the price point of it, why don't they just get it right? It probably doesn't help that I'm a slightly portly fellow, but I'm not the only one who complains about this, and for such a minimal thing to have sorted out on it. Number 3 is performance, and when I say performance, I really just mean top speed. It pulls away from lights, it's nippy from the start, but it could just do with a little bit more top speed.
0 to 60 performance test. Are you ready? Hold on, the camera might get blurry. Struggling to keep the front wheel on the ground. Not. So there you go, we're sort of peaking at 52, 53. We're going to go downhill a little bit, so it'll creep up a little bit, but that's it. That's what you've got. You decide if it's enough. $60. Road out of my village is uphill. It's not massively steep, but it is uphill. We're around this bend and we'll wind it on a flat out. A 33, 34, 35, 36. Into fourth. and we're struggling at 40. Flattens out a little bit, still uphill. $45. And we could do 5th gear, but it'll bog down and do nothing. And that's us. So realistically, 45 on any kind of slight incline. If you've got the wind in front of you as well, you're going to be bopping up and down between 4th and 5th to keep it going.
It'll cruise on the flat at 50 miles an hour. Bearing in mind that has to be no headwind and no incline at all. But it will cruise at 50. Now if it would cruise at 60, perfect. Because then you can keep up with traffic on fast moving carriageways, dual carriageways, more importantly. It can be a bit nerve-wracking if you're on a dual carriageway with trucks bearing down on you. Now, if you can get tucked in behind a truck, I find it'll keep up with the truck no problem at all. But that's because you're taking the block from the wind from the truck. And again, once you hit an incline, you're gone. I'd love to be able to take this down a motorway, and you can, legally you can, and in the right conditions it would be fine. But there's no way that I'd be riding any kind of distance down a motorway on this. It's just too dangerous. I do appreciate you don't buy this for it being a fast bike, but it's more for practicalities than wanting it to be faster. As I say, it would just be nice if it could just cruise along at about 60 miles an hour. Okay, number 4, and this is where my blood pressure starts to creep up a little bit, but it's the clutch lever on it, and where the biting point of the clutch is. It's too far out. And I can hear you starting to tap your keyboards in the comments to tell me, just adjust it. No, it's not as simple as that.
So the clutch on this, into gear, no bite, no bite, no bite, no bite. The lever's nearly all the way out now, and now it's starting to bite. Still not going, and that's it. Clutch lever's out. I really don't like it. So, I mean, you barely have to pull the lever in for it to disengage. So when I first got this, I thought, well, that's easy to sort. I'll just adjust the clutch. And you can do that on the lever here. Yes, I can see you all starting on your keyboard to tell me I'm an idiot. The adjustment's all the way up on the clutch, which is fine. Because then you're going to say, well, just go down to the clutch and adjust it that side. Yeah, you can do that as well. And yes, I can get the bite point to where I want it. But what happens then is the clutch has free play at the end. So this lever starts wobbling around and bouncing all over the place. And I've ordered new levers for it, adjustable levers, and that's going to solve the problem. The point is, you shouldn't have to. One, why is the clutch all the way out to engage in the first place? I don't know. And 2, well then, why isn't this lever spring loaded so it takes up that free play? Or why doesn't it have adjustable levers in the first place? After all, it is £4,200. It's not a cheap bike, not for its class.
So the only solution is to buy new levers for it. Again, when you've already spent a premium amount of money on this bike. Number 5. This started as number 2 in the list. And the more I've thought about it, and the more I've looked at other bikes, it's made it into number 1. And it pisses me right off. There's no clock. No clock.
Let's just check the time. Oh, we could have pushed a button. Time could have displayed, not a problem. But what do we do instead? Well, no, I can't really check my watch, can I? That'd be a bit dangerous. Certainly can't get my phone out of my pocket. So, we're completely lost.
Well, there's nowhere to put a clock on it. The dash is too small. Well, make it bigger then. You could put it there. You could press a button and it would change the mileage odometer to clock. There is no excuse for not having a clock. You can buy a clock, I know, but it's about £300 when you've already spent, have I mentioned this before, £4,200 on it. Well, why am I getting so passionate about a clock? Well, 1, I want one. 2, what are you using the bike for? Well, I'm using it for commuting primarily. So it's quite nice to know how late I'm running for work. 3, what are you using the bike for? Well, I'm using it for commuting primarily. 4, what are you using the bike for? Well, I'm using it for commuting primarily. 5, what are you using the bike for? Well, I'm using it for commuting primarily. 6, what are you using the bike for? Well, I'm using it for commuting primarily. 7, what are you using the bike for? Well, I'm using it for commuting primarily. 8, what are you using the bike for? Well, I'm using it for commuting primarily. 9, what are you using the bike for? Well, I'm using it for commuting primarily. 10, what are you using the bike for? Well, I'm using it for commuting primarily. 11, what are you using the bike for? Well, I'm using it for commuting primarily. 12, what are you using the bike for? Well, I'm using it for commuting primarily. 13, what are you using the bike for? Well, I'm using it for commuting primarily. 14, what are you using the bike for? Well, I'm using it for commuting primarily. 15, what are you using the bike or when the sun's going to go down because it's took you that long to get anywhere on the thing because it doesn't do 60 mile an hour. I've got a Ducati Monster in the garage, and I'm not trying to compare this to a Ducati Monster, but that bike is 11 years old and it is Bobby basic, and it's got a clock. You can't tell me Honda couldn't put a clock on this, because they have done on the CB125. In fact, what they've done on the CB125 is give you an app, what's it called, Honda something or other, I'll put it there, and it gives you sat-nav, phone, messaging, the weather, and that bike is £900 cheaper than this. I think that's absolutely outrageous. The technology available to Honda, and if you ask me, they just couldn't be arsed. It must have come up in a meeting. Someone must have mentioned it and they went, nah, they'll still buy it, watch this. And we did. I did. Am I too passionate about the clock? Maybe. But my point is they could have done it and they chose not to. Anyway, that's my top 5 gripes on the Honda Monkey. Do I regret buying it? No, not at all. No, I love it. It's so easy to get out of the garage. It puts a smile on your face every time and makes arriving at work that little bit better. Anyway, that didn't take too long, did it? What time is it? Oh, I don't know, do I?